Hello YouTube, in this video we're going to create a game manager to keep track of things like score and whether or not the game's over. And then we're also going to modify our TakeDamage macro to use the game manager. So let's get started. First we're going to create a new game object and call it game manager. And we'll drag it under the main camera. And we're going to reset the transform, and then instead of creating a new FlowScript controller, we're going to create a new global blackboard component first. And then we'll go ahead and add the FlowScript controller. And the global blackboard, by default, will make the object a don't destroy on load object, which means it'll persist across scenes. Let's go to create new bound. We're going to create an integer, and we'll call it score. We're going to create two booleans. The first one will be game over. And the second one will be paused, which we won't go over in this video. So now if we click on play, we'll see the game manager appear under the don't destroy on load in the hierarchy, which is what we want. Alright, let's go to the player object. And the TakeDamage macro below is what we're going to update. Alright, a quick heads up, I'm stopping the original video here. I came up with a newer solution for the TakeDamage macro that I'm much happier with. You will see some variables that we haven't created yet, but we can ignore those for now. I will point them out in the newer video. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so first in Game Manager, you'll notice that we have a few extra variables at the bottom. We don't have to really worry about those right now. I just wanted to point that out. And if we go back to Player and Canvas, we want to go into TakeDamage. And I'm going to add a new integer input for point value. The logic behind using point value means that if there is no point value, that means that the player object is being destroyed. Otherwise, we know it's an enemy. Alright, so if we disconnect that play clip at point and duplicate the switch comparison node, we can connect those two. We'll also duplicate the zero constant and drag that into the B slot. And now we want to connect A to the point value that we just created. Alright, now I want to right click, go to Variables, then Blackboard, then Game Manager BB at the bottom. We can ignore the variables at the bottom. We want to choose Set Game Over. And we want to set the value to true and connect A equals B to this, which means that there's no point value. So that means it's the player being destroyed. So let's test that out. Keep an eye on the Game Over checkbox in the variables. Alright, and you can see that Game Over is now being checked when the player is destroyed. Let's click on Enemy 01 and then the canvas. And we'll drag the point amount into the point value. And we'll do the same thing for enemy 02. And we can also delete the camera variable for both enemies. Alright, if you go back into TakeDamage, now I want A is greater than B, meaning there is a point value. If we drag out and go to Variables, Blackboard, Game Manager BB, and Set Score at the top, change operation to add, and we'll drag in the point value from the macro. And connect it to destroy object. And then if we play, let's keep an eye on the score value. As we destroy enemies now, we should see the point value increase. Alright, so that all looks good then. Alright, that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to take our score and put it in the UI. I hope to see you then.